going? If you are in the health and fitness space and you are aware of what's going on, it seems like everyone and their brother is an online coach nowadays. Heck, as a matter of fact, I profess that I'm an online coach and I do coaching. And what I've realized is that, yes, I do love online coaching, but it brings me much more joy to teach someone how to do it themselves, how to coach themselves, how to go through the processes. And so what I've decided to do, and what I've been working on for quite a while, was a system that you could utilize to coach yourself, to essentially use the inputs that you have, that the data that you have from your own work through the week, from your body weight, from the progression that you've made in the gym, and put it into a system and have the outputs determine what plan or what steps you need to take next, which is no different than having a coach. Essentially what you do when you check in with your coach is you tell them, how you're feeling, how you've been sleeping, digestion, your weight, and then your photos. And then all that is determined as to what happens next, depending on what your timeline is and, what your goals are and things of that nature. And so I have honestly built a system where you do the same things. You have a goal, whether it's a growth phase or a cut phase, whatever you want to call it. I call it a shred phase. And based on what happens week by week, your weight, your photos, you have your own check-in system. All that is going to go into what's called the decision tree. And actually the decision tree is, first off, based on your weight. What happens week by week. And then it gives you an action plan and steps to take next. There's also rules that are kind of formulated within the plan so that you don't just make rash judgments, you don't do anything emotional. And obviously you're taking check-in photos and things like that. But I made this because I would much rather empower people to do this themselves, to coach themselves, to learn how to do it, and to have the mindset to make the processes self-autonomous, honestly. Rather than being dependent on a coach month by month by month, you can have this system all in one, have it yours for a lifetime, and utilize it week by week and month by month, just as you would with a coach, but it's yours. And now you're empowered and you feel like, I can do this myself, which is where we should all be. As a matter of fact, if you're a parent, which I think most people are that I'm probably speaking to, this is the same mindset that you should have with your children. You don't want your children to be dependent on you for the rest of your life. What you want to do is you want to teach them how to be independent and how to think for themselves and how to do things and learn from their own processes, but you teach them the processes. And so this is the same thing that I've done with the self-coaching system. I implore you, go to my website, www.thesyndicatbrand.com, and under the tab that says self-coaching system, I've put in a YouTube video that breaks it down step by step. So it should leave no questions. I've also just made another YouTube video which assists you in how to do the workout plan, the nutrition plan, and things of that nature. But for me, it's a no-brainer. You get the complete system for the entire lifetime, your lifetime. You don't pay for it monthly. It is so cost-effective. I feel like I'm leaving a lot on the table. But what I wanted to do is I wanted it to be cost-effective for people. I didn't want people to feel like they're paying an arm and a leg like they do with some of these coaches. And then not only that, now you feel like you're dependent on them for the results when you can get the results yourself.